Bees Golf Studio presents Tip It Out Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brandon, Blake, and Noah.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching it. Thanks for watching. I'm me. That's them. It's us. I'm Brendan. That's Blake. That's Noah. All right, guys. Welcome back. How are we feeling? One episode down. How are we doing today?
Been a minute.
Yeah.
Ready to go. Let's get it over with.
How about them?
All right. Well, we got
Chiefs,
some good
baby?
things for you guys today. Got our first ever guest on the podcast. Looking forward to that. That's for sure. One thing I'm going to start you guys off with. Do you want the good news or the bad news first? What do you guys want?
We're Nebraska fans. It's all bad news.
It's all bad. It's all bad.
So you want the bad news first?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. Bad news is Kansas City Chiefs won yesterday, so they're still alive in the playoffs. So I know Blake's excited about that. I am not. It doesn't matter. My Bengals are out of it. Noah, I don't even know. Are you an NFL fan?
I enjoy the NFL a little bit, but I do not like the Chiefs. So
God, you guys,
Tennessee
you guys
Titans.
don't even
They got that
know.
Carolina blue, huh?
yeah, that works.
It's the Kansas City Swifties. Get it right.
Ugh. I can do one Kelsey brother, and it's not Travis. All right. Well, good news is for everybody listening at Watch the First One, we are now going to try to do every 2 weeks instead of kind of a whole month off. So hopefully we'll be able to do it a little bit more. And maybe even there, depending on how our lives are and everything, we go to once every week or something like that. But we'll see. So first off, American Express this weekend, hell of a historical event that we got. As you can see down below, we have the leaderboard there, our top 25. Congratulations to Nick Dunlap, shooting 29 under. Second week in a row, we've had somebody win at 29 under. He went 64, 65, 60, finished the Sunday round with a 70, was able to edge it out, even though it was a birdie fest and 70 on the last day. One double in 72 holes and one bogey. Pretty good rounds, if you ask me. At 29 birdies or better, I think that equals to like 2 or 3 eagles. I don't know off the top of my head. But first amateur to win since 91. That was Phil Mickelson, the lefty. And he's only one of 9 amateurs to ever win. Obviously, all kind of way back when. And he's actually one of 2 amateurs to shoot 60 in a PGA Tour tournament, along with Patrick Cantley. So, guys, why don't we just round it out quickly? What did you guys see? What did you guys notice about this weekend?
Go ahead, Noah.
Obviously, it's really surreal that a guy at that level would win, and obviously you're seeing kind of the next generation of this young booming golf corps keep coming up. Got guys like Aberg and all of them still on their way up, so that's fun to watch. And then you got my guy from the first episode, Justin Thomas, who I was looking forward to seeing this year with a strong performance. So I enjoyed that, but I did not enjoy my betting guy Chris Kirk taking a poop in the last round. So
Near ace
that
by
was bad,
JT too,
but
which was sick.
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
It's awesome. It'll be interesting to see these young guys, see if they can get any more dubs throughout the season. But
Yeah, absolutely insane. I'd be pretty pissed without getting any coin out of that, though, if I'm honest.
I mean, I'll take
So-
Masters exemptions for that.
he was already exempted in the Masters, if I believe, with the USAM win. Is that correct?
He could have been. I don't know the details
I
on
think
that.
so. He's like exempt through 2026 though now, isn't he?
Yeah, it's 2
If he
years.
turns,
But it's only pro event 2 years, I believe.
yeah,
He can
2
turn
years,
pro at any
but
time, can't he?
yeah, he could turn pro. He actually just WD'd from the Farmers this week,
Yeah, I saw
which he was
that.
actually in as a sponsor exemption beforehand, but decided to wait and see kind of thing. So it actually left him and JT actually WD'd, and so 2 guys got in on sponsors
I know
exemptions.
JT did.
Now,
I was pretty upset
So-
with my guy Sam Burns. Guy's
Yeah.
he's terrified of hitting grass with water surrounding it.
It's kind of like Samson. Wasn't it Samson, the one where you cut off his hair and he loses all his power?
I
So he
don't
lost all
know.
his clutch genes when
Dude,
he chopped his mullet off.
I thought old Burnsy had it coming down, and then I was like driving and got a text like Burns just choked. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, you shouldn't text and drive, especially with my niece and sister-in-law in the car. So why don't we chill that out a little bit?
It's fine.
We're have to go up there and beat your fucking ass. But I got a text while I was driving and something to that effect too. So anyway,
Get lost.
but yeah, I mean, I was looking at I was watching that 17th hole and seeing Dunlap hit the green. You know, I was nervous for him, but Burns, you know, I didn't even think twice. You know, that to me, that ball was going on the green. It was never a doubt. And so to see that, it was surprising. And then I think he just pushed the envelope a little bit on 18, trying to get a birdie out of it, and just kind of pulled it a little bit. All right. Well, time for our first guest of Tip It Out podcast, the one and only Alex Schaake from the University of Iowa, your 2019 Big Ten Player of the Year, 2020 unanimous All Big Ten, the Lee Bolstad Award winner. Did you even know you won that award?
Hell yeah, I did, man. That's the lowest scoring average for the year.
Yeah, Big Ten, right? Isn't it?
Big Ten.
Big Ten? Nice. That's what I
Less
thought. Yeah, Iowa record holder is what I got in my notes too. And then I'm sure I'm missing a lot, but 3-time Nebraska Junior Am winner. I think you won the Nebraska Am quite a bit too, didn't you?
Yeah, 4 times.
That's what I thought was 4 times. And then obviously U.S. Open qualifier. That's awesome. And then last but not least, just certified dog. All right. So welcome, Alex Schaake. Let's just kind of look at something here. Look at this guy. Look at them, top of his swing. I mean, I'm not a big Hawkeye fan, but if there's one cute Hawkeye, it's got to be you, Alex.
Oh my God, thank you.
Kind of got a European hairstyle going there too. What's up with
that? I mean, he definitely just got that.
Looks European.
My hairstylist did that for me right before.
All right. Well, you know, we kind of, Alex, we touch on these little headlines that we put in underneath our name. And, you know, I just wanted to point out my headline here real quick. That 30, 21, and 3, that's not a locker combination. That's actually Nebraska's all-time record against Iowa. So I do believe we're winning that record or that matchup right
for football, right?
Yeah, for football.
I mean,
sure.
all you Nebraska fans.
I tried looking up volleyball and basketball. I wanted to get a whole record, and I might have even grabbed wrestling to give you guys a little bit more wins, but I was not able to find those. It's not public knowledge apparently, and I didn't want to delve deep into all that. But all right, well, why don't we go ahead and recap the American Express a little bit with Alex here now. Alex, just kind of a quick question. Being a successful D1 golfer, somebody that is trying to make it on tours, played in tour events, U.S. Open to be one of them. What's his next move? Like, I know we kind of talked about it a little on text, but like, let's kind of tell everybody, you know, if you're in that position, let's say you go back and you still have some years of eligibility left. What's the move?
I mean, he's kind of putting people in suspense right now. I feel like, I mean, he just withdrew from the Farmers. That's putting into people's minds that maybe he wants to go back to school, but I'll tell you what, that dude's only going back to school to clean out his room and leave. I mean, you turn pro immediately after you win a PGA Tour event. You don't show up to a college event with freshmen who just got into the top 5 of the lineup, and those freshmen are like, oh my God, there's a PGA Tour winner in my tournament. Like that just doesn't happen. He has 2 years. Exempt for 2 years straight. He doesn't need to play in every single tournament. He just, won on the PGA Tour as an amateur. I would expect him almost to take the next week off. I mean, yeah.
Well, it's probably a little hungover.
He's got a lot of clothes.
I mean, he's 20 years old, guys.
He's 21.
He's only 20.
He was 21.
No, he's 20.
He's 20.
He's 20.
That's so sad.
He's turning pro 100%. If he doesn't turn pro, I'll personally go kick his ass.
Call him
that's
out.
the same.
Call
That's
him
the
out.
same thing though, like those 19-year-olds that are in the NBA, like they're going to the clubs, they're drinking. He's finding a way to drink one way or the other. But so what did you guys like? What did you think, Alex? Let's not just talk about Nick Dunlap. Who was surprising us a little bit? Who do we see fall? I know one on the top of mind that just it's pissing me off week in and week out. You see these birdie fests, and then you see a guy like Ricky finish the week, I think, at like 2 under, 76, in round 3. Like, what are we seeing in these first 2 tournaments that, are just headline material, guys?
I kind of pinned on it, but kind of seeing Will Zalatoris actually scoring a ton off of his injury too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he ended the week 68, 69, 65, 68. That's nothing to shy away from. And he had a fair amount of bogeys, I wanted to say. Or maybe he didn't.
When you have that putting stroke, you're going to make bogeys.
Wrong man.
But is it impressive to see a 60, like let's say a guy goes 68, 68, 68, because that guy's missing the cut this week, and he goes 68, 68, 68, miscut. Is that impressive in a tournament like this, though? Like, is that saying his game's in the form that he needs to be?
I just think that he's trending. I mean, if he's going to be, after last year with him being hurt basically all year and having surgery, not being able to do anything, and it being a back surgery, and then being able to score and be, top T3-4, like that's not bad.
Yeah.
But, it's not bad. Yeah. Go ahead.
My question is if you're like a guy like Ricky, are there guys like that just, aren't built to make a lot of birdies on easy courses like this, and would are more likely to be in contention, on like a tougher golf course where
wasn't that Michael Block said that's the only reason he was able to do what he did last year at the U.S. Open was because he can make pars, but birdies is what kind of gets him. So being able to grind out a par is a lot easier than having to make birdie. That's why you haven't seen the success that he's played in PGA Tour events, because it's a birdie fest. And that's like, if I had to play a PGA Tour event, I'm playing one where you got to make par, because I know I can't make, 9 birdies around, no bogeys. I can pull, 5 birdies, maybe 1 or 2 bogeys, but I can't go that deep. I'm not a PGA Tour player, but
that's the thing as well with like these guys out here at those Monday qualifiers getting to the events. Like every single one of them want to show up to the course and it to be like a 2 or 3 or 4 under, like gets into the tournament. Like everyone hits it the same out here and on the PGA Tour and everything, but it's just like one big putting contest. Like they might as well just put everyone 30 feet, 20 feet from the pin and just 18 times and just make us have a big putting contest. That's basically what it is. And so I think it's kind of a breath of fresh air when you get 7, 8, 9, 10 under that wins a tour event, and that's kind of fun to watch. Guys are still making birdies, but I think there's something ingrained in us that likes to see them struggle and see that they're actually human as well.
We discussed that a little bit last pod, and I know that we all kind of agreed that, and I think my biggest thing was I want to see a guy have to like make a good par on 18 to solidify the win. I don't want to have to watch a guy have to make birdie all the time. Like knowing a guy can make a bogey is interesting to me. Puts a little bit of pressure, but on some of those courses, you're not making bogey.
Yeah, right. I remember last week you said that, you wish Chris Kirk would have, either been tied or one behind going into that 18th hole at the Century instead of, one up, because he's not, let's be honest, he's not making bogey on 18 at the Century. No. Like it's just kind of takes the drama out of it.
Yeah.
So, and we'll get into more of you playing in some Monday qualifiers and everything like that. But my thing is, when you're playing in one of those and it's a birdie fest, like, you're playing in a Monday qualifier, 8, 9 unders are the guys that are winning it. When you make one bogey, are you worried about it at that point, making one bogey?
Yeah, you're stressing for sure. You can afford a bogey. It's just like, it's whatever, but you can't afford 2 or 3. Like, yeah, especially if that bogey comes when you're like, if you get over par at any point, you're just like almost mentally out of it. But I mean, if you string off of a few birdies in a row and then the bogey comes, you're like not too worried about it. Just trying to get back quickly. But yeah, like I said, you'd rather have those 4 or 5 under courses where you have to make it through instead.
That's like it kind of goes back to. I mean, so I've caddied for Brendan in U.S. Open qualifiers, and it's like you look at some of those courses. You have dudes that are going there, and they're just tearing it up. But then, like you when you were at Omaha, like it's not. No one was really scoring, and you had to come down the stretch for that to really to do something about it. And it was still only, I think it was like what 1 or 2 under that was.
It 1 under. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy. Where one of them that I caddied for Brendan in, the winner shot he was like 8 under, and it's like, yeah, no, good luck.
Yeah, but you also caddied for me at Beatrice, and Beatrice wasn't one of those. I think maybe 4 or 5 on Beatrice. That was like 3.
What'd you shoot at Beatrice that year?
It calls him
like
out.
80, 86 or something.
I shot 81 that year.
Did you really?
So let me.
Yep.
Yeah, I shot 86. So let me tell you this story, and Blake, I think, remembers it. So we're not playing too bad. I'm nervous as all get out. And my goal, like when I play in these tournaments, is just to play in so many of them that I'm not nervous anymore. Because playing in playing D1, those tournaments are all the same. Like all the tournaments you play D1, like these local qualifiers probably feel roughly like the same atmosphere. And I may be wrong, but I haven't played in all those, nervous events kind of things, those big events. So that's all I like the competitive aspect of it. But I think we were like 1 or 2 under.
We were 2 under through 4, and then
that short par 3.
Yeah.
Or no.
We parred.
It was through that par 3. I parred the par 3, so I was 2
parred
under
the par
through that.
3.
Is that 5?
The par 3 is hole 5.
Yeah. So I was 2 under through 5, and on 6, the dog leg right with the water.
Dead into the wind.
Oh, we had the practice round. And I was like, okay, just don't miss right. And I missed right in the practice round, and that creeped into my head on 6. And that I'm sure you played Beatrice enough. There's a tree like straight ahead that you just aim at. If it cuts a little bit, you're in the middle of the fairway. If you're left, you're left. You lay up and make par or whatever. Just try to get it up there towards the green. Well, I flared out to the right. I think I ended up making double or triple on that one. And I ended up the next hole was dead into that wind.
Dead.
And I think you played in the afternoon, and I played in the morning.
It was also so cold that day.
It was so cold and windy. The ball wasn't going anywhere. I remember hitting a decent shot. It was super spinny off the tee, and I barely stayed in bounds. And I ended up having like 3-wood in still. And I roast a 3-wood, and I'm like 30 yards short. I think I ended up making bogey, which was like a fine bogey. And then on that par 3, that uphill 8, I think I had a birdie putt and parred it. And so we ended up turning at like 2 or 3 over. So we're like, all right, we're fine. Long story short, we get to like 14, that par 5 on the back nine, the first one or whatever, kind of as you start heading back to the east. And I hit a good drive, and I'm probably, 5 over at this point. And it barely goes in the rough. And I'm like, fuck, man. And like, how Beatrice is. That rough, they grow it out.
It's brutal.
And then I look in at the line. I'm like, okay, it's not terrible, but I'm going to hit a 7-iron, just kind of get it up there. I'll have a wedge in my hand, make birdie. And I just take the 7-iron. It feels center face. And I'm just like, okay, that's it. I look up and the ball's 15 yards in front of me, just fucking rolling.
That's the worst.
And I'm like, and I don't know if I audibly looked at Blake, but I know in my head, I was just like, I can't do it anymore. I was like, I'm mentally exhausted. I've given it my all. I got nothing left in the tank. And then I went like double, triple or something to finish. She like 87. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. I know the next U.S. Open qualifier, I think I shot 78.
Ooh, that one's a whole news story too.
And I hit
16.
16 greens.
It was 15 greens in reg.
I had 15 greens in regulation and shot 79. Half of my strokes were putts.
Yeah, that's never good. That's never good.
Brutal.
But hey, our goal that
Brutal.
week was to hit greens.
Yeah.
Aim center of greens, hit greens, and 2-putt was the goal. But yeah, anyway, no longer about me. My golf game sucks. It'll get better. I'll hopefully play in the Nebraska Open and U.S. Open qualifiers this year. But other than that, let's talk about you, Alex. You are in Arizona.
I am
California.
California.
You're in California, right? You were in Arizona.
Yeah.
You're in California now. Postponed the Monday qualifier.
Yep.
This today. So you have the Farmers tournament qualifier, Monday qualifier tomorrow. Is that right?
That's right. Yep.
So why don't you kind of walk through, how many players get in, kind of what's your prep, just kind of what your day look like, just give us the entire thing.
Yeah, I mean, so yesterday I went and played a practice round. It was pouring yesterday too, kind of raining all day, off and on. Eventually, kind of got out later in the evening or in the afternoon. Played 18 holes by myself, which is kind of weird. Nothing really too crazy. The course was fine. It's not super difficult. I mean, I think probably like if you want to feel safe tomorrow, probably shoot like 7 under. Like that's probably a good area.
That's a year in if you shoot 7 under.
I would say that 7. Yeah, 7's a good number. You feel pretty confident at 7. At 6, you get a little bit like yeah. But I mean, you're out here and it's funny seeing the guys that are out here and you just like are like, how are you not on tour still, or like how are you even not in the event already? Like Robert Streb is out here, Patton Kazire, like all those guys are just walking around playing Monday qualifier at Bear Creek and have to sit through rain delays for 6 hours and can't go grind on the perfect putting green out there. But no, it's cool because it's cool to see that the tournament this week, what happens for the tournament and the people who commit and like withdraw affects the Monday qualifiers in some way. Like there are really good players that are playing in the Mondays, and a lot of them had to withdraw today because they actually got into the event. So like when Nick Dunlap withdrew, Hayden Springer, who was supposed to play in the Monday, got into the tournament. So that just kind of eliminates one person you have to worry about.
But there's a set number, right? There's set number each week from a Monday qualifier, regardless of how many players are in it, right?
So there's 4 spots up for grabs this week. Yeah,
well,
every week.
I guess that kind of answers one of my questions was how does the Nick Dunlap, WD affect the Monday queue? How does the postponement affect the WQ? Like how many guys do you think are, have some prior obligations? I mean, I know it's weird with a Wednesday start this week, but like are there other mini tour events that people may be trying to get to? They were when there was supposed to be on a Monday, they were thinking, okay, I'll play Monday, travel, Monday afternoon to Tuesday, and then make this mini tour event, practice round on Wednesday. Is there anything affecting that? Are people leaving for that?
Yeah, a little bit. There's an Asher Tour event, which is like the mini tour that's in California and Arizona. It kind of goes back and forth, and I think they kind of plan for the next mini tour event to be around where this Monday queue was. So it's only like 20 minutes from here, just for like the guys that didn't make it through and wanted to play in that. But I guess you're not going to be able to get a practice round in for that anymore because it's Tuesday start now for the Monday. It was a big topic of conversation today that you're not going to. So they're playing 2 courses. They play the North and South course at the Farmers and the first 2 days, and then they make the cut or whatever. But nobody who makes it through the Mondays or the Monday qualifier is going to be able to see any of the courses because it just starts the next day, which is super weird. Yeah. So
that is weird. It's weird that it's a Wednesday tournament for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if let's say, you play well tomorrow, you qualify, not having a practice round, what do you do? I mean, is it internet, Google Maps? Like, is it, tour books that you got? Like, what do you do to know?
Honestly, I think you kind of just have to put your trust in somebody that's like a local caddy and caddies out there every day, and you just have to trust them fully. I mean, I've seen the South course just because I caddied for my brother at the U.S. Open at Torrey, so
that's what I was going to ask. Do you call Carson up and see?
I thought about it. It would be hard for him to get there. He's never seen the North Course, so that might be a problem. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge if we get there.
Well, let's hope you get there for sure.
We don't.
So Noah, you're awfully quiet. Do you have anything to say?
Yeah,
You
what's
just
going
kinda
on,
look
Noah?
pretty.
He
Who's
said-
RJ Davis? Just kidding.
set a mannequin up in his chair and walked away.
Yeah,
He hasn't
over there
blinked
watching
once.
the game, that's
I'm just,
all.
I'm just trying to drink. I'm just trying to drink, and
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
no, I mean
Iced
you're
tea?
covering most of it right now. But yeah, I got nothing honestly. Just
All
listening
right.
to him talk.
Noah's the basketball guy.
He's
Blake loves the golf. Noah's the basketball guy. I'm the bridge and the gap, and I'm the one that talks all the time, so I get asked the questions. So what's next? Farmers qualify tomorrow. Are you staying in California? What's next? What's the year look like? Kind of what's the goals?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to figure that out. I talked to the guy today who runs the Americas tour, which is like what the Canadian tour used to be, and they kind of combined with Latin, the Latin tour, to make it just kind of one big thing, so that like the first swing of tournaments will be down in South America, then the second swing will be up in North America. I talked to that guy to see what kind of status I'd have this year. And he said that tomorrow is kind of like the day where people start committing to events, and we'll see have a better vision of how many people are interested in playing on the Americas tour versus like other mini tours or anything like that. So that starts in, I think, May. So I'm hoping to play a full schedule on that if, I didn't get through the Corn Ferry, like a Corn Ferry Monday and make a cut and kind of make my way into the shuffling. But yeah, I mean, I'm playing the Waste Management Monday qualifier in February, so hopefully I can get into that one. Honestly, if I had a choice for whichever tournament I could
It's
ever
that
get
one.
into or Monday Q into, it'd be that one. So
that'd be
Yeah,
sick.
that would be just one time experience 16. Like, right? That's it pretty much.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
the
it'll
goal.
be pretty nerve-wracking. I want to see Blake get up there and hit a shot.
Oh, it's getting,
All right, so
it's going
that's-
straight into the teeth of the guy directly
Let's-
to the right of
Let's
me.
let's
It's not
interesting.
even-
Let's ask this question. So you have 3 shots, and Alex, you can one up us all on this answer too. But you have 3 shots. Full stadium. Everybody's ready to throw beers if you miss a green. Booyah! Everything like it's the real deal. You got 3 balls to get it inside 20 feet. Alex will put yours to like 12 feet. Unless you really think 20 feet's hard too. How many are you getting inside? And maybe Blake, for you, it's hitting the green. I don't know.
3. I only get 3 swings.
You get 3 swings. How
No
many are
warm-up
going
on the range
inside
either.
20 feet. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not putting that out there because I have seen Blake not get a ball above a foot,
Oh yeah, I went through a stretch where I swing
especially if he's hitting driver.
I swing like a 12 and a half, almost 13 driver. It's bad. But
I'm over here swinging an 8 degree, and then I have twice the apex he had.
it's bad.
Let's go to Noah. Noah, you look like you got your mouth sewn shut. Let's get some words. Baby. You got 3 shots, 20 feet. You're a gambling man. What do you got?
I'm going with 0.
The
And it's not because
confidence
it's not
is
because
high.
It's not because I can't hit the shot either. Like if you take the people away, I'm 100% getting probably 2 inside 20 feet. But
You don't want to Garrett Clark that shot.
Like-
You just-
like-
okay.
Yeah.
like my irons are like what I'm most confident in. But at the same time, I've played in my fair share of tournaments that, at least for me, are kind of stress me out a little bit. But I've never, at least golf wise, basketball wise, a little different, but at least golf wise, I've never gotten to where I'm comfortable under pressure yet. So, I want to do more tournament wise, playing in section events, stuff like that down in North Carolina and stuff like that. But as of right now, I'm just kind of, and I've gotten better at it, but waste management, I'm probably going 0. Maybe the 3rd shot I hit in there
So
after I caught
Put
it.
odds on it. Like I said, you're a gambling man. Put odds on it. Odds to hit 1. Over under set at a half. Is that -110? So like
I'd say it's I'd say it's plus 120. I'm
120
like
for the over.
I'm like somewhat confident I could do it on the third shot.
I mean,
After
it's
I
what?
calm
It's
down.
160 degrees maybe, or 100 degrees, 160 yards roughly. I don't know. Like, is
Max.
that right? Max
Max.
160. So like,
Yeah.
so we're all good enough golfers, that we catch the. I mean, Alex, you're you, but
He's
all
fine.
of us are good enough golfers that we could probably luck out and catch the center of the face. Like, you get those first two swings in, nerves are a little shaken, like you're shaking them off a little bit unless you hit a fan, because then they get worse. But I think we could all hit one at least.
Okay, so I think I could get one on. The problem is that I would have to get one on because if I'm stepping up with a wedge in my hand, or if it's in the bunker or anything, then I might just WD and walk off the course. It's not happening. God forbid that happen. I'd probably yip a couple putts, get out of there with a 5, see you later, get to 17, and then
Hit it in the water line.
not know how to swing, and it's gonna be. Oh,
I'll tell you what. 20 feet's actually a really good shot. So
that's super good.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that depending on where the flag is, like what's the kind of like the back left area is a super hard runoff.
Yeah.
So you actually had yardage aside, the green itself is actually kind of hard to stay on because I think there is just kind of if I remember correctly, but
I'll say one. It's one or two. One probably inside 20 feet for me.
I'm in all three.
Instead, like
all three inside 20 feet.
20 feet either side, or are you saying like 20 feet?
20 feet. 20.
So 10.
So
feet
like,
aside.
is it like your 20 feet?
It's like it's like 20 feet.
Like 6 inches.
Yeah.
But all right, you guys got anything else for Alex as far as golf? What's he got coming up and everything like that?
I don't know. Did you bring your PS5 to California and Arizona?
I didn't respond to your text, but no, I didn't.
You're a bum. You're a bum.
I was thinking today, and I don't know if what Noah does, but I did just set up my PC and I played video games for like the first time since my son was born. And I kind of liked Fortnite. Like, it's not the OG Fortnite that I love and used to like stream a little bit. But
Alex and I are grinding. We got some dope.
But I think there's in our future, maybe a Tip It Out Pod live stream. And
live stream Fortnite.
We play some Fortnite. I think we do it, at some point. I think that's in our future for sure. But
I'm always down.
Yeah, drink and play some Fortnite. I mean, that's the excuse that Blake and I are going to tell our wives, right? It's not that we want to; it's that we have to for the company. Content creators now, like this is a must do.
And it's hard playing it's hard playing Fortnite with Blake though, because all you hear is his keys pressing so loud, and then he's trying to be so quiet, and and then he gets a call from Haley, his wife, and he's like, I'm just playing video games, like give me a break here.
Hey, and we just have Noah sitting in the background in the corner.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, Noah's just doing that. Noah's like
not saying anything.
Keeping the crows away.
The commentator. No, it's just like I'm just waiting for somebody to do the basketball email.
I'm just waiting for the locks.
Go Heels.
Gotta put in my bets.
All right. So moving on, Alex. Obviously, we've hit on Iowa. We've hit on we're Nebraska fans. I just want to say this is an absolute execution of Iowa to the finest. I mean, this is absolutely poor offense, but amazing defense with the sell, So let's go ahead and watch this. I'm sure you guys all have seen it. Is it? And the real question is that we all want to know. Like, obviously, there was no offense. Head was not on a swivel, just like all of Iowa's running backs. No. Back to nothing, right? So the true question is, flop or not?
Yeah, it's major flop.
I was going to
wanna
put the
s-
alternate angle, and I saw some hand extension, and no contact was made to the head, but we got this. I mean,
I'll tell you what, it looked like I would love to say it wasn't a flop. And it's so weird because she was just running off the court.
She was in a full sprint.
Yeah,
She was
she was.
full sprint off the
I
court.
saw,
Like
I saw I saw a tweet today that said, if Caitlin Clark's vision's so good on the court, why didn't she see her?
Yeah, I want to
That
know
was
where her freaking eyes were. Like
Yeah.
she should have easily saw that person running right at her.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't
maybe she did see her, and maybe she just did not care. I mean, has anybody thought about that?
No,
I mean,
I think she did.
I don't know if you guys.
I would say she might have did it on purpose.
It's like muscle memory at that point. She hits
It's-
something and just flops.
it's the
She
Iowa
thought she was
way.
setting a screen. She was just running up, going like this.
Yeah.
I mean, a year ago I would
But-
have gave her a flop warning, but there's none of those anymore. So it's just a class B
Yeah.
technical.
So imagine, all right, get this. So let's say, there's an alternate angle and you see this clip, and next thing you know, you just see a ref just run up and just go, just after the game, give the charge call,
She starts
double
complaining.
double tech out the next game.
I don't know. Was the chick inside the bubble though?
No, she was outside.
She was outside. Oh yeah, that's definitely uncontrollable offensive player. It's going the other way.
It's kind of more like,
For
like
sure.
doesn't have the ball. It's probably an illegal screen. Probably a flagrant 2, obviously, because she's got the phone up, right? She's looking at the phone. She's not seeing. Caitlin Clark saw her. I don't know where she's looking at.
It's a pedestrian
But-
crossing.
I want to
Yeah.
say one thing. I just want to say one thing. For someone to have to storm the court, that's their Super Bowl. That's their game. That's the
Yeah.
person to beat that year. The Iowa is that team, and Nebraska had to storm the court against Purdue. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
Wait,
I
All
was
right.
there.
Well,
I was there.
speaking of that, let's go ahead and see what Matt said about it. So this is what Matt Painter had to say about the court storming that you mentioned against Nebraska against Purdue.
Guys, I don't know why institutions aren't ready for it. Like, what did you think was going to happen if they won? Like, spread the word. Spread the word before somebody gets hurt. A student from Nebraska should be able to storm the court, right? Like, we're cool. Like, just get ready for it. If that's what you're going to do. So, we're struggling in our conference with that. We got.
So let's go ahead and let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, I get what he's saying. Before you guys get into it a little bit, I think we should be allowed to storm the court. My 2 cents about it. I'll let you guys kind of take most of it. But I will say one thing that he mentioned. It wasn't in this clip, but I think afterwards was that everybody but the seniors, I think, have never lost a road game where the court wasn't stormed for Purdue. So that's how successful they have been, is that every time they lose on the road, it's a court storm.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I think his point's justified. I think we need to find a better way to control it. Noah, you were there at this game, storm the court. You have the video of it. Maybe sometime we'll throw that up there. But was there security anywhere? Because I know when we played KU a couple years ago when I was at the game, and Svi Mikhailuk hit the 3 right at the buzzer, so we weren't able to storm the court. But there were security guards in front of us. We were right behind the bench. They were kind of trying to stop us or at least slow us down. So were there security guards there? What do you kind of think about? Should we have to kind of regulate court storms?
I think you probably have to find a way to regulate it a little bit, but it's also almost impossible to regulate it. We didn't. So Nebraska's students are on the sideline behind the benches, the team benches, and they got probably kind of lucky because it was actually a break game, so there wasn't all students there. It was some parents and other people, but honestly, I don't think they were ready for it because there wasn't really any security. we had people from like the 300 level coming down and standing next to us for the last couple of minutes, like getting
We
ready.
got our football coach
And
Matt Rule and our AD.
yeah, I mean, we
standing
had
for it.
we had one security guy down at the end, and he was kind of trying to force us back towards where all the students come in at, down to one corner, which would have been okay if there was more security. But no, I mean, as soon as that went final, everybody was hopping over the chairs and even kind of like pushing managers out of the way and shit. But obviously, our AD stormed the court, so he didn't give
Yeah.
two shits on that one.
Well, so what do you guys think, Alex? I know you probably never got to experience this because I was just not ever beating those teams, but like if you had to imagine it, like once in a lifetime opportunity for
If I
you.
had to imagine it. So my buddy face planted when we won, when we beat. This is football. Okay, does this count? We beat Michigan my freshman year. My freshman year at Iowa, and it's like I'm not even kidding you. It's like a 8 to 10 foot drop from the like the thing down to the field, and he flipped like once and then fell on his face, and he was like he couldn't even get up because there were people like it was like a waterfall like coming over the stands.
Well, that's what I would be scared of is like falling down. Like, and I
Yeah.
remember in your video, Noah, like the girl falling, and
she
you
tripped
guys
over
just
the
stepping
chairs.
over.
And
Yeah,
everybody
you guys
just kept
stepped
running.
over.
Nobody cared.
But, like, there's, I mean,
It's
I
like
think it's ridiculous and-
it's like those Black Friday videos of people just getting trampled,
Yeah.
running into Walmart and Target.
I
That
think
really is
I think if you to regulate it, it would be like Noah said, would be extremely hard because I mean you can't stop thousands of people from just doing whatever they
No.
want.
Yeah.
But if they were going to regulate it somehow, I think they would let coaches and players kind of like shake hands after, let them get off, and then like let them go
Yeah.
celebrate with the team and everything. That's the way to do it, but it's kind of impossible to do that.
I mean,
Yeah,
you can try
I
to
think-
put them
yeah, I
on
think the-
one corner and just the other.
Well, I think
side of the benches. But
I think the regulation comes from, you're not there to protect like something that's going to happen to the opposing teams is somebody being stupid. Like nobody's throwing punches. I mean, unless you're, Nebraska versus Missouri back in the early 2000s, where do you guys remember that? Where the Missouri fan was running by, they stormed the field, and Nebraska fan was walking off. I don't know what the Missouri fan said to him, but the Nebraska fan just looks at him, just sucker punches him right in the face running on the field. So obviously that can't happen. But
God, just like Caitlin Clark, man. Just
Wow. God.
yeah, but I think no, we're not worried about the home team players' safety. Nobody's going to take a cheap shot on a home team. So I think you take your 8 to 10, 12, however many security guards you got. Maybe you try to surround the handshake line, and their main job is to get the away team off the court because the home team's going to celebrate. Maybe those 8, 12 guys, are assigned one player, 2 players, whatever it is, and helping them get off the court. I think that's the easiest way to regulate it. I don't think it can happen, but I think that's ultimately who you're trying to protect.
Yeah.
Hoiberg wasn't saying this about the court storms, right? It's the opposing team that lost that's worried about it. So
I think you have to be the team that you get stormed against, like Iowa in that sense, let's say, you kind of have to know it's coming as well. Like you can look up in the stands to see that everyone's kind of getting ready to storm the court. Just get the hell off the court. Like don't even just like when the buzzer goes off, just run your ass in the locker room. No one's shaking hands. Don't do any of that.
yeah.
yeah,
Well, I know
I feel like most teams don't even shake hands. Like the team that wins, I feel like they just kind of celebrate.
Well, later in this clip, I believe he mentioned something about like how do you know it's like how do you not know it's going to happen? How are you not prepared for it? Because on the off chance that your team wins, it's going to be a court storm no matter what happens, how they win, no matter what. Like they're storming the court if they win. So like you're as a Nebraska fan, you're bringing a Purdue into your court. Maybe that day we have an extra 3-4 security guards, knowing that there's a possible chance of a court storm. We're playing Ohio State tomorrow, right? And I don't think anybody's storming the court if we win that game at home. You know,
You guys
so
should. Nebraska sucks.
Shut up. Shut up.
yeah, I was a little disappointed. I had to put on my headline the all-time score because I looked at the last basketball score and the last football score, and I couldn't do anything.
Yeah,
But
it was pretty bad
it is
beating
what
in
it is.
basketball too.
Yeah, well, we discussed it last time on the pod. You know, Nebraska on the road.
Yeah.
It's a different
We're a
team.
home court team.
But unless we play Creighton, which is even worse than Iowa, fuck.
Correct.
But
They're both birds, and it's just disgusting.
you know what? And I don't know if I said this last time, but like I'm gonna tell you guys. I know I didn't tell this story last time. So I was in a small town here next to where I live, and I was at work. We were on like this work trip, and we go to this local diner, and we're sitting there eating, and we're like 3 out. Like it's a breakfast. We're having breakfast, and we're 3 out of probably 7 or 8 people there. And we're sitting right in the middle. One waitress, she's got everybody. She's walking around, and you know, my loud mouth. You know, I don't talk quiet and I don't talk little. So we were talking about something, and I was talking about a J-skirt, and I was like, there is nothing worse than a J-skirt. I'm like, the same guy that I'm slamming beers with at a tailgate, meeting in the stadium, having a great time when Nebraska wins that football, transitioning to basketball, he's the same guy that's saying fuck Nebraska at the game. And there's nothing more than pisses me off that pisses me off than that.
Seasonal closet.
I say I
put his
basically
bread in
say
a box.
But I say that, and the waitress starts laughing, and my boss and the other guy kind of turn and like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you laughing? And she goes, I'm a J-skirt. So we're in this town of like 4,000 people. And let's, for those of you that are listening and don't really know, I'm in Kansas right now. I'm in South Central Kansas, and I'm 4 or 5 hours away from Omaha. So like, we run into Nebraska fans, but the odds of me in this town of 5,000 people to be telling this story about how I hate J-skirts and the waitress being a J-skirt was just kind of comical. And sure enough, I'm sure I got extra spit on my food because we did not get it yet, but it was just kind of funny, the irony in it all. But all right,
she gave you Bud Light instead of Busch Light.
Well, I was not ordering a drink at 8 o'clock.
My brother went to, so we were Husker fans growing up, and then we went to Iowa, and then Carson kind of converted to Iowa. I converted completely to Iowa.
Ugh.
But the worst thing is now Carson's back to Nebraska.
Oh, is he really?
Oh, and I can't stand it.
Oh
my God.
But how do you go? How do you go from liking Nebraska, growing up Nebraska in the good times, to hating it? How do you go all the way to that?
I think I just realized how just clueless Nebraska fans are. From the inside, it is so hard to see, guys. I know it doesn't feel like it, but when
I'm the one that
outside
gets to
looking
edit
in,
this, so be careful.
That's fair. But from the outside, like it's funny. I will say Iowa football and Iowa anything is so hard to watch. Like I'd rather watch a Nebraska football game, but that doesn't mean I'm a fan. Like Iowa football is so fucking boring.
It's borderline soccer.
Well,
Yes.
I
It's borderline
Rugby.
soccer.
I actually watched our junior high girls play, and it was 4-2 at the end of the half. And I think there was an Iowa recruiter there. And
Yeah, I'm sure there
he
was.
came down to the coach
Brian
at
Ferentz.
halftime, literally was just like, you know what, this is the highest scoring game I've ever seen. And so I think everybody on that court got recruited by Iowa that game. I think it ended up like 8-2 or something. It was barn
That's
burner for
perfect.
Iowa.
That's right up the wheelhouse for Iowa.
I get
Shut up,
so
Blake.
He's
I go back and
Omaha.
forth.
Omaha doesn't count.
What's this amateur pro thing, Blake? What's going on with that?
Yeah, Blake, why don't we go ahead and touch on that? Like, I mean, are you taking shots at Alex? Is that
What is this?
You're the
Amateur over
he's the
pro?
What's going on?
Oh, it's basketball. No, I mean, there's a field of how many? How many was in the American?
I
Too
don't know.
many.
Oh,
And none of them.
I
You
cannot.
didn't
None
know
of
that's
them.
what he meant?
None of them. Are you serious? None of them could beat him.
There's no way I just thought that was
None of
a
them
shot
could
at
beat
me.
him. It was not. It wasn't
God, I'm
intended, but it
selfish.
just works. It works
Yeah.
so good.
Little do we know, this whole time Alex has just been looking at his camera.
God, I've just
He's like, damn, I'm so pretty. Damn.
I've been fired up this whole time, like that fucking headline, man. It's just it make me itch.
Gotta talk about it. Gotta bring it up.
Yeah,
Seriously
So-
though.
my bad. Old news. My bad.
All right. Well, Alex, it was great having you on. Let's just kind of go ahead. Last question for you. Well, let's do this a little bit too. So, 2 questions for you. Let's start one quickly. Name your final 4 teams basketball wise. We'll go back to that and see kind of how close you were. And then just kind of finish up. Let us know your goals golf wise for the year. You know, what tournaments are you trying to make? You know, what would be a successful season golf wise for you?
Final 4 tournaments. Final four teams in college basketball.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I
if
know
you
you've
get
had a
this-
great streak. And if you want to go call your fiance, if you want to call her and see how you could get him right. So if you guys watched last podcast, Alex was the one. Alex was one of them that only won because he asked her, and she got him right. So I know you have a great streak, but what are the 4 teams?
I
He's gonna
literally
pick
woke
Chuck.
her up. I literally woke her up, and she was like this. I was like, I have to ask you something. And she's like, what? I was like, I need your team pick. She was like, okay. And then I just watched. I was like, Jesus. UConn.
Chalk.
Houston.
Ugh,
Okay. More chalk.
they've suffered. They've been
I don't
struggling.
know. I don't know. See, I haven't watched much college basketball this year. Probably Purdue.
More chalk. I told you he's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's hit 3 out of them already.
You ready? You ready for this?
Yeah,
He's not gonna
Iowa.
pick Noah's team.
they're not even gonna make it.
They're not gonna make the tournament.
They're not
I'll
even
bet you on
gonna
that
make
right now. I'll bet you on that right now.
All right.
Okay, let you guys make a bet right now. We'll revert back to this. Iowa doesn't make the
All right.
tournament. What do you guys
50
wanna bet?
bucks. No, I have no
You're gonna have
money.
to save up for that.
How about
No
how
money.
about the loser? The loser has to go and caddy for somebody in a round of golf that they just play with their buddies and they can't play.
Well, us
So
four
you
will
have to
go
come
out
caddy
somewhere.
for me. Yeah, and the
Well, I
loser
guess
has
Noah's
to
gonna be
caddy
in
for
North
the other person.
Carolina.
We can figure this out.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it on the later podcast.
We'll get,
You
we'll
have
get like
to-
a gross. We'll get
you
like a
ha-
gross shot or something for them to take on one of the podcasts. Like
Yeah,
just
You
like
have to
their-
play. You're an X guy, aren't you? You're an X guy, right?
I don't even like where this is going.
You're.
I'm not
you
playing I'm not playing regular Pro Vs ever.
No. I'm saying, but you play the
Oh.
X's,
I do.
right? Okay, so if you lose, you have to play a yellow X.
Shrixons.
No, we can't change
A
that.
yellow
Can't change it.
X.
You have to play yellow X for. I don't know, like I wouldn't say a qualifier, but for like a practice.
If you
round
qualify
or
for the U.S. Open, you got to play yellow. X.
you have to play a yellow X for a whole practice round, or I wouldn't say, maybe if it goes well, maybe that's a new thing. Alex is just a yellow guy, but if you lose,
Whoa.
In Iowa Cockeyes are yellow.
yeah,
They're gold.
Oh, sorry. That's like me being offended you didn't say scarlet.
That's true. That's true. But if you lose, you have to send me a picture naked.
Jeez. All right. Well, we'll figure out an actual bet between you two. But there
Of
is a
who?
bet. Iowa making it to the tournament. But, all right, Alex, what's a successful season look like?
In all seriousness now. I've always had this like thing that I've said to myself since freshman year of high school is that I just want to have a better year than I did the previous one. So I think throughout high school, like my freshman year, I was just kind of getting into it, and then sophomore year, I kind of figured everything out, and then I got better and won more tournaments like the next 2 years following. And then I got to college, and I was like, started off slow, kind of just figured my way out, like try to figure out how to manage everything, how to get in the lineup, how to shoot good scores at harder golf courses, and then year after year, I kept getting better and better, and my scoring average was going down. And then professional golf came around, and I was like, once again, didn't start off great, didn't have a very good first year, and then last year was not great, and then this year I made a really big stride, and so I think every year I just want to do better than the year before is kind of my goal always. Whether that's, I mean, obviously I'd like to make it back to the U.S. Open again. I mean, that's a huge goal. That would be really cool. But I think just, you can kind of gauge it a few different ways. I mean, I want to make more money this year. I want to, win more tournaments this year. I mean, this is my job. I mean, I'm trying to make money, like, as much as, it's hard for people to hear, like, because it's just a sport, I mean, I'm really, I'm out here just, trying to pay my bills. And Blaine Hale said it best at Q School. They interviewed him after he top fived to get his PGA Tour card, and he said, "Professional golf, isn't what you think it is. It's not glorious all the time unless you're on the Corn Ferry or the PGA Tour. I mean, most guys are broke, like, and so if you're not on those tours, you're really struggling. So, I think that's kind of where I want to get to."
Yeah, no, I love that get better, each year. I think that's something everybody can kind of do. I think that's what everybody focuses on, as far as all the way back to amateurs. Like Blake still has his handicap. I don't know if Noah does, but I would assume that, me, you, and Noah don't have ours followed like that strictly with. But like Blake, he's got a goal every year, to cut a few handicap, strokes down. So everybody's kind of,
it's got to be,
so I think it's pretty good.
Stuff's got to be realistic too, though. Like, that's something that I've always been is I'll set a goal for myself, but it has to be an obtainable goal. Otherwise, you're just setting yourself up to fail. And if you can't push yourself to have some sort of success, then what's the point? So
I think it's got to be measurable too.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can't measure it, then you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what do they call those? The SMART objectives, specific, measurable, whatever they all are. So, but yeah. Well, anyway, Alex, it was awesome having you on, especially being our first guest on Tip It Out podcast. Go ahead and search Alex Schaake on all social medias and give him a follow.
Shout me out. Let's go.
If you ever wanna, I think he's got a GoFundMe. I think he's that broke. So. help his dreams come true. But hopefully we'll have you on again. I think we've talked about doing a little U.S. Open qualifier and really delve a little bit deep into your U.S. Open experience and your qualifying experience. So hopefully you playing in the U.S. Open this year doesn't hinder that. But we'll find a way to get you back on and go into a little more detail about that. But I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks, boys.
Thanks, bro.
Talking to you.
You just need to pack your PS5 next time.
Yeah, we'll get that Fortnite stream, man. All four of us, and Noah will just put his picture down there as video, and he'll just. So.
I feel like I'm not being like working hard if I have my PlayStation. Like, I can do other things, but I'm really just eating M&Ms in my fucking.
That's your like settling down, like you're.
It's
just
your competitive.
Like,
you still gotta work on
Fortnite, right? That's like forgetting about golf, but all right. Well, again, thank you. Like I said, we'll have you on again. So we'll see you later.
All right. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Later.
Yeah.
See ya.
Well, I think that was awesome. I think Alex, gave us a lot of cool insights that, we normally don't see. We're all different aspects of golfers, but, he's kind of the cream of the crop in our eyes as far as, how well he plays. So I think that was really cool, and I'm glad we were able to have him on. Moving on. We kind of, this is the golf podcast, not all about golf. So now, Noah, I think your roommate got the scissors. We cut the mouth open, not sewn shut anymore, right?
I don't have a roommate.
Sorry. You found your own scissors. Anyway, So let's talk a little bit of basketball. I'll let you guys kind of bring up whatever you want. Let's kind of go ahead and for the ones not listening, or not knowing, I guess, RJ Davis, I know who he is. I don't know if Blake does, but why don't you go ahead and elaborate a little bit more on who he is and why he's quote unquote elite.
I mean, all this comes from, well, not all of it, but it really rings true tonight because, as I tell you guys every week, I can't start this podcast until North Carolina's done playing. So watch them from 6 to 8 today, and RJ Davis is their starting point guard, the career high 36 points. He's the ACC leading scorer right now, and he's kind of just put that team on his back, and is really playing like maybe the best player in the country right now. So that's why I'm saying he's elite. But
as a UNC fan, I'm not a huge UNC fan, probably my second favorite team. Really liked Roy Williams. How do we feel about Armando Bacot? Like, he's just not like freshman, sophomore year was, he was the go-to guy and he changed the game. And, I think he's kind of take a step back on a role and like, has that affected the team a little bit? I mean, for the better probably, but kind of what are you seeing with him? Like, he's not the same if I was looking at it.
He's an interesting cat. For the most part, he kind of came in at the end of the Roy Williams era, which Roy Williams always, I don't know if anybody follows him or not, but he kind of always had two bigs on the floor at the same time.
A little high-low action is what it
and
was.
that secondary break that they would run. Obviously, Carolina's getting back to being that speedy team that everybody thinks they should be, which they should be. But all their secondary break was a high-low between bigs, and made it a lot easier.
Because the first pass was to Armando at the top of the key, wasn't it? And their secondary break.
Just whichever big,
trailed.
Yeah, it was trailer. Would take it and rotate it, and then set it as actually a back pick, and then they'd swing it back, and then a duck in. But no, I mean he's got some work to do, and he's kind of lost his touch around the block. He gets buried too deep, and then he loses his angle. He doesn't have the backboard to use, and he's kind of struggling with his hook shot. But no, I think the whole team kind of knows their roles this year, which is why I think they're better than they have been. But
yeah, I mean they go out and get a guy like Cormac Ryan, and I don't remember who the other one is, but their worst bugaboo last year was 3-point shooting. So they go and get a guy like that, and I think that really spaces out the floor. I mean, obviously last year being the number 1 seed overall preseason, and then not even making the tournament for I don't know, that was the first time like ever or forever how long they did that. But I think the 3-point shooting really affected Armando in a negative way. Just allowed double teams, and they could have late rotation out on 3-point shooters because they didn't have to worry about him making it. And I think part of that was the volume of that Caleb Love shot. And he's, if you ask me, not a very good 3-point shooter. And I think him and RJ Davis also battled a little bit last year with who was the guy. So I think they are an ultimately better team this year, and I think it's shown a little bit. But kind of moving on from Noah's favorite team to his second favorite team, or T1 favorite team, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Blake and I's favorite team. God, I mean, just we talked about it last time. Road sucks.
It's bad.
We lose that game, and it's defensively, if you ask me. I mean, that game against Rutgers, I guess we didn't score in the last 10 minutes. We didn't score a basket of regulation, but just to watch a team, all jokes aside, like Iowa, who is one of the highest scoring offenses, not in football, obviously, but in basketball, and then also, a Wisconsin team that normally historically plays slower. Watching our defense struggle on the road, it's hard to watch. I mean, you guys seen where can we get better on the road?
I think you got it. I don't know. I don't like our defensive scheme this year as much as years prior. I think we have to, just because I don't even know. Our guards are either they're just not into it defensively or they're just small. Like Sam plays so hard defensively, but the dude needs like 7 more inches, and then
I think if you broke down the analytics, though, I don't think he's given up a lot of points.
I know,
Sure.
but I'm
He's our best
just
defender.
he's so good, but it's also like the thing where we can't just have him be the only one. I think Casey's kind of not a defensive player.
He's
but
a liability a little bit.
He doesn't shoot the ball that great on the road, and that sucks. Also,
It's
Rank
his
has played so bad in the last few road games. He finally started playing a little bit better, but also, what's his name, played really good.
Alec.
Yeah, played really good last game.
No, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Mast had no idea where the rebound was going.
Yeah.
Against Rutgers, it was bad. But no, I mean, Bryce Williams to me is a guy that I think ultimately he is a team player. Like, I think he believes he's doing what's best for the team, but also, watching his body language some games, he becomes a liability defensively. Like I was against Purdue, which it didn't really matter, but there's been a couple times he picks up like 3/4 court and gets beat off the dribble, and then everybody's in scramble mode from there, and we give up a wide open layup. I mean, his decision making defensively as well with his effort, I think he's a little bit of a liability defensively. Would you guys agree? Or
I think he can be, but he's also a good defender when his effort's there. And I mean, I think effort is kind of 75% of all of our defensive struggles on the road. But as far as Bryce Williams goes, I think he's the kind of engine that helps Nebraska be a great offensive. I think it takes Nebraska from being a good offensive team to a great offensive team. And I mean, you need and obviously like his better games, like he almost had a triple double against Purdue. Like his better games are the games that we win. And his when he struggles offensively, I think that affects him on the defensive end, and I think that's what you see sometimes. But
yeah, I will also say too, I've noticed rebounding wise, the games that we get out rebounded are the games we lose. So I think, if you're Fred Hoiberg, it's get a body on a man, hopefully I want everybody to have that. We talk a lot about, in text and everything with Josiah Alec, not being a great basketball player. But, the fact of the matter is he's a hustler, right?
Yeah.
He's getting the dirty stuff done. Sam, he's the first one on the floor all the time. And I think we need a little more guys like that to get
last year
those rebounds.
He won games for us. Sam did. He won easily. You could put
defensively.
His name,
he won us games. Yeah,
you could easily put his name on the record board as winning a couple of those games for us.
Yeah, and offensively this year he's kept us in a couple games. That Rutgers games. We thought that was over. He hits a big three. They go down and they have free throws, and then comes back, hits another big three. Like, the guy stepped into his own, and I don't remember what class he is, but I would love to have him around for a little bit more. I think he can turn into a sixth man of the year type.
We just have 2 more years with him.
Yeah. So transitioning a little bit, staying with Nebraska basketball, this is the current projection, Joe Lunardi projections for Nebraska in the March Madness bracketology. So what I want us to do quickly,
kind of go back.
I've looked at this and I've drank the Kool-Aid. I'm bursting through that wall.
All I'm saying is I'm pretty sure.
Easy stretch. Other than Noah, you don't want to see North Carolina and Nebraska in the same region. I'm sure of it. But I just noticed North Carolina there. But I was looking at this earlier. Florida Atlantic might be the worst 6th seed. And I'm saying, beating a Florida Atlantic, beating a Kentucky team, and maybe getting to a game against a North Carolina team is not unheard of in this current situation. What do you guys think about this? Is this one of the best possible brackets that a Nebraska team could get?
No.
What's your worry about it?
I mean, I think we could beat Florida Atlantic. they're a decent shooting team, and we struggle against shooting teams, but we double the post and they have a good post, so that if we match up okay. We match up okay at Florida Atlantic. I'll take that, but um, I know you guys know our defense philosophy in the Big Ten because of the history of having good bigs is that we double every big.
Yeah.
And when you look at our losses, it's against 3-point shooting teams. And Kentucky kind of has all of it, and they're a really good shooting team. Kentucky would beat us by 30. Or
Do you think it would be that much though?
At
I don't
least.
think it. I don't think it would be. Close.
But speaking of wins, and we'll go ahead and close this out. But speaking of wins for the year, if we make it to the tournament and we win a game, nobody cares what that second round happens, right?
No,
we could
yeah,
we could be blown out by 40 to Kentucky.
I could
if
give
that
two
happens,
shits about that.
nobody cares, right? We finally won last Power 5 team to win a
Okay,
NCAA
so
tournament.
so let's think about this though. It's an 11 seed, so does the playing game count? Because I'm pretty sure the first pod I said that I'd count.
Oh, it switches. It switches. So
100%.
there's, I think if I remember
we've won
right,
an 11
there's
seed game before. I'm pretty sure.
well, playing games do count statistically, I
Yeah,
believe.
it counts statistically
But
100%.
But my thing is that's not a playing game. I think it's 1 16 seed in one region, an 11 seed in another region, a 16 seed and an 11 seed.
Well, yeah.
Only
It's
two
only
of the 11 seeds are playing. So this wasn't like we are not a playing game in this scenario. But yeah, a playing game technically would count. I personally wouldn't count it as a win, because it didn't advance you. It got you into the tournament. That's that's just another regular season win. I wouldn't count it personally. But any last things on basketball? Kind of what we want to touch on. You guys got anything you guys want to discuss? We can go quickly, real quick if you guys don't have anything. Noah, give me your final four. Blake, give me your final four, and I'll go ahead and give mine. And since Alex gave us his, we'll kind of compare notes at the end. So Noah, go ahead. Who do you got?
I got UConn. North Carolina. I wouldn't have said them in the past, but as of right now, I'm taking North Carolina. I have Arizona still.
Yeah.
My fourth one, I would probably go with tough. I'm gonna go with Tennessee as my.
So you went UConn, UNC, Tennessee, and who?
Arizona.
All right, I'm writing these down. We're gonna compare these notes at the end. Blake, who do you got?
So I have to look it up. I'm not as crazy. I definitely.
Yeah, you're the golf guy. We got Noah talking.
I like.
You're the golf guy.
I think the UConn North Carolina game is really good. I don't think it's the same UConn team that they were last year, but they also got crazy hot late last year too. I do like UConn on the East. The South, I think, is crazy. Just for first glance,
we're not looking at like the.
I have to.
Or at least
I have to.
wasn't.
I'm just looking at.
You don't have to do per.
I'm just looking at the bracket. Okay, so
Yeah, just who your top 4 teams, basically.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, then I'll go North Carolina, Auburn, I'm gonna throw St. John's in there.
What? Did you not just see? Who did they just get blown out by DePaul?
No, it was a close game with them in Seton Hall.
No, DePaul's never won a game in their lives.
Oh, was it
Or
not?
not DePaul. Who was
Then
the
who-
one? Was it?
Who am I
was it
thinking of?
Seton Hall that won the 26 run?
I'm thinking of St. John's, and I'm gonna stick to it, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna swallow it, and I'll adjust it again.
All right, who's your fourth?
I did like
Auburn,
I
St.
did like the
John's.
Tennessee pick too.
A couple. Yeah. So we all have UNC. Unfortunately, scares me a little bit because we all took them. But granted, we all don't know what we're talking about either. I always root for North Carolina. Come March, Nebraska's done playing. Really, come February, Nebraska's done playing up until last year where they went on a run. But North Carolina is always my March team. So North Carolina, I got North Carolina, Houston. I think Houston, Ken Palm ratings are hard to look at sometimes, but I do like Houston. I think the Big 12 is the toughest conference, so it is hard to, compare their losses. I said what I said about Kentucky, but they are the real deal. They're kind of the silent killer. Nobody's talking about them too much, I don't think. Last but not least, sneaky pick for me because I wanted to be a little different. I picked Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin, they got some veteran players, and I kind of wanted to go Illinois, but I think some Derek Shannon stuff's gonna be a problem. And I actually wanted to take both them and Wisconsin, but two Big Ten teams. I just decided to go with Wisconsin. I feel like it was the safer bet for me. We are hitting on some time. There's this theory going around, and it's staying true. So we're gonna go through our predictions for the NFL quickly. The AFC NFC championship. We're gonna walk through who wins what. Blake's gonna pick Chiefs win the Super Bowl like a real homer, but whatever. So
hot take. That's a hot take.
Here's the theory that I want to show. So are we believing in this? It's still live. I mean, I actually saw this like 3 months ago. I like the Ravens. Let's go in farther detail real quick. So if you look, every single winner is on the bottom of the color. Rams beat the Bengals on the bottom. Chiefs beat the Eagles on the bottom. So rumor has it Ravens are winning over the 49ers. Quickly, another conspiracy.
The Ravens are good.
I just saw on TikTok today. John and Jim Harbaugh's dad, Jack, I think is his name. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. His first championship, their dad, FCS won, scored 34 points. Who is it? Jim? Jim's Michigan's coach, right? Jim won his first championship this year. This year, 31 points in the national championship. John, beating his brother back when he won the Super Bowl, also scored 34 points in the championship. So, rumor has it, Ravens are also winning with 34 points. But quickly, I'm going to go through. I think it's a Ravens-Lions matchup. I think the Ravens beat the Lions in the Super Bowl. You guys go ahead and tell me yours quick.
I think that's hopeful wishing for you just because you want the Chiefs to lose so dang bad. My fear is the Lions and the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl, and I'd borderline be rooting for Dan Campbell, and that's scary.
I love the Lions. I want the Lions to win.
I think Dan Campbell he's the dude. I also would like the Chiefs win, so Andy Reid would retire, but that's another story for another day. I want the Lions and I want the Chiefs. I want the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, but I would not be upset if I saw the Lions win it.
All right, Noah, what do you got?
Well, I have the Ravens beating the Chiefs, but I'm going to just say it right now. We're going to come back next pod and it's going to be right. But the Ravens are going to be winning by 3.
Where your mouth is.
Or the Ravens are going to be winning by 3, or the Chiefs are going to win 3. It really doesn't matter. But something's going to happen in the Chiefs game, in the Chiefs-Ravens game, where, I don't know, somebody lays an index finger on Patrick Mahomes, or they call a phantom.
Did you see those AI images of the Mahomes making out the ref?
It wasn't AI. That wasn't AI. That was real.
Oh, it wasn't.
Every single time the Chiefs are in danger of losing a game, and especially a playoff game, I mean, just something crazy happens and the refs just lose their mind for a minute. So I'm telling you the Chiefs are going to win by some bizarre method. But give me the Ravens and Lions.
In the pod.
And give me Dan Campbell and Motor City just winning it all, because that's what I want to happen.
All right. Well, you guys heard it here first. We'll go back and look those Final Fours, and we'll talk next podcast. Probably it'll be a Super Bowl prediction as well as a kind of see where we were on these predictions. But guys, I think it was fun today. I think it was awesome having Alex on. So
yeah, huge shout out to him. Appreciate Alex for coming in.
Yeah. So all right, guys. Well, we'll talk to you later. So thanks for coming out.
See you guys.